Welcome to Hero Villains. Who do you think would win when Colossus versus She-Hulk when Steel Strength collides with Green Fury? Colossus, whose real name is Piotr Rasputin, is a Russian mutant and a member of the X-Men. His mutant ability allows his entire body to transform into ultra-durable organic metal, granting him immense physical strength, near absolute damage resistance, and immunity to most conventional weapons. In his living steel form, Colossus can lift hundreds of tons, confront Hulk-level beings head-on, and still maintain a terrifying calm. She-Hulk is Jennifer Walters, a lawyer who nearly lost her life and was saved by a blood transfusion from Bruce Banner. Unlike Hulk, She-Hulk retains her intelligence, emotions, and self-control even when transformed. Her green body possesses strength that increases with emotion, extraordinary durability, and rapid healing. She-Hulk is not only powerful, but also intelligent, agile, and extremely experienced in combat. Before we dive deeper into the analysis, please hit the subscribe button and remember to turn on notifications by clicking the bell icon. Thank you very much. Piotr Nikolaevich Rasputin was born on a remote collective farm in the Soviet Union, located near the icy Lake Baikal in the vast region of Siberia. His childhood was closely tied to his family, especially his older brother Mikhail Rasputin, a renowned cosmonaut whom he deeply admired, and his younger sister Ilyana Rasputina, who inspired in him an unshakable instinct to protect her at all costs. During the rare peaceful days, Piotr often turned to painting as a refuge for his spirit, reflecting his quiet and compassionate soul and his longing for a simple life far removed from the extraordinary destiny that awaited him. Colossus is a mutant with a truly unique ability that allows him to convert his entire body into a form of hardened organic metal with properties similar to osmium and carbon steel. When his power is activated, his flesh transforms into a seamless layer of metal armor that covers him from head to toe, granting overwhelming strength and endurance. Only when he willingly returns to his normal form or falls unconscious does the transformation cease. This process occurs through a special neural link to an ionic form of osmium that exists in another dimension, where the carbon atoms in his body are exchanged to form the steel exterior. How Colossus increases his mass during this transformation remains an unsolved mystery, suggesting that he may be drawing strength from an external source. Colossus' strength is not merely muscle, but the embodiment of a living machine forged through time. As a teenager, he was already strong enough to be classified at level 70, a rating that made many adult mutants wary. When his body and abilities reached full maturity, that power surged to level 100. He once forced the seemingly unstoppable Juggernaut to stagger under a relentless barrage of blows, a rare moment that proved even absolute power has its limits. Colossus has matched Thing in an intense arm wrestling contest until distraction broke the balance. He generated force equal to Thing to separate converging energy streams and temporarily subdued Savage Hulk with a combination of raw strength and refined combat skill. He even engaged in a brief clash with Gladiator, enough to demonstrate that he was not outmatched, even though he was ultimately defeated. In his metal-armored state, Colossus' muscles produce far lower levels of fatigue-inducing toxins, allowing him to operate at maximum intensity for days before signs of exhaustion appear. This armor grants him astonishing defensive capability, sufficient to withstand heavy ballistic fire, including 110mm howitzer shells. Colossus can survive environments near absolute zero or endure temperatures up to 9,000 degrees Fahrenheit while remaining standing. Catastrophic impacts such as being struck by a 1-ton truck at high speed, explosions equivalent to 200 kilograms of TNT, or falls from lethal heights are not enough to destroy him while armored. Even more remarkable, the metal covering his body does not rust under normal Earth conditions, and his steel hard eyes can deflect a 45 caliber bullet. All of this makes Colossus not only a powerful warrior, but a living wall of steel, unshaken amid chaos and destruction. Colossus once stood on the front lines during a turbulent moment in X-Men history, when he and his teammates tried to protect Professor Xavier from the fury of Hulk. This time, Hulk did not arrive as a mindless predator, but driven by deep resentment, because Charles Xavier was one of the Illuminati members who took part in the decision to exile him from Earth. Amid earth-shattering blows, Hulk still granted Colossus a rare moment of reflection, acknowledging his courage and admitting that Colossus was worthy of being a true opponent to the former incarnations of himself. Colossus continued to be drawn into conflicts of even greater scale when he and the mutants confronted the Avengers head-on. In one brutal battle, he clashed with Red Hulk under extreme conditions, where the crushing pressure of the ocean and the raging fury of power collided violently. At that time, Colossus once again bore the marks of Sidorak, causing his strength to erupt far beyond normal limits. In this form, he completely overwhelmed Red Hulk, turning the fight into a near absolute display of power. During a fateful period, Colossus was not only a mutant of the X-Men, but also became the embodiment of the power of Cytorak, a nearly immortal multidimensional entity and a core member of the Octessence. This group of entities represents some of the most ancient and destructive powers in the multiverse, forces that only mystical authorities such as the Vishanti are capable of opposing. When empowered by Sidorak, Colossus ascended to an entirely different level, where his strength far surpassed that of Cain Marko, once regarded as the quintessential avatar of Sidorak. Each of his punches carried not only the weight of metal and muscle, but also the will of an entity beyond time itself. More remarkably, even when Colossus was possessed by the Phoenix Force, and many believe that Sidorak would withdraw his power to avoid risk, the entity resolutely refused. That decision clearly demonstrated that Colossus was considered the most perfect avatar Sidorak had ever found. In this state, Colossus' strength was no longer limited to raw physicality alone. He possessed endurance, resilience, and near absolute resistance, surpassing the vast majority of beings that exist in the physical world. Only warriors approaching cosmic levels such as Thor, Gladiator, Green Hulk, or Red Hulk could truly stand on the same scale. Even when compared to true cosmic entities like Sentry, the All-Father Odin, or the Heralds of Galactus, Colossus was still regarded as a formidable force, a symbol of the fragile boundary between mutant and godhood. I truly hope you will subscribe to the channel as it helps us greatly, and you are absolutely amazing. Thank you very much. Now let us talk about She-Hulk. Jennifer Walters began her life as an exceptional lawyer, someone who firmly believed that justice was best defended in the courtroom. She was the cousin of Bruce Banner, the man who carried within him the destructive power of the Hulk. But at that time, Jennifer saw it as nothing more than a normal family connection. Everything changed in a fateful moment when she was shot and gravely wounded by a gangster, standing on the fragile line between life and death. To save her, Bruce was forced to give her a blood transfusion, and that gamma-irradiated blood permanently altered Jennifer's fate, giving birth to She-Hulk. Unlike her cousin, who constantly struggled with uncontrollable rage, Jennifer did not reach the same terrifying level of raw power as the Hulk, but she possessed something many could only dream of. She retained clarity of mind and intact intelligence even while transformed. She quickly learned to control the changes in her body and gradually accepted her green skin as part of a new identity. Rather than seeing it as a curse, Jennifer turned it into an advantage, combining immense physical strength with the sharp mind of a lawyer. She defended justice in the courtroom while also confronting crime on the streets. She built lasting friendships, faced dangerous enemies, and steadily matured into a leader respected by her allies. From her work at the District Attorney Office to her role as a member of legendary teams such as the Avengers and the Fantastic Four, whenever she activated her abilities, her skin and hair shifted to their signature green color, her stature grew taller, and her musculature expanded dramatically in an instant. However, that control was not always perfect. In certain unstable forms such as Savage Grey She-Hulk, or when the levels of gamma radiation within her body were disrupted, Jennifer could lose the clarity that was her greatest strength. Even so, in her standard She-Hulk state, her physical power continued to increase over the years. From being able to lift around 50 tons in her early days, Jennifer rose to a level exceeding 100 tons, a milestone that even the Beyonder acknowledged as bringing her strength closer to that of the Hulk. She-Hulk legs possess tremendous explosive force, allowing her to leap hundreds of feet into the air and cross vast distances on the ground in a single bound. Once, in a surge of rising fury, Jennifer launched herself from the heart of New York City straight to Riker Island, turning the sky into the shortest path to release her pent-up anger. She-Hulk is not only distinguished by raw strength, but is also known as a warrior with near-perfect defensive capability. Her green skin can withstand crushing pressure and extreme temperatures, from numbing cold near minus 190 degrees Fahrenheit to heat exceeding 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Even direct hits from field artillery do not easily pierce her body. Thanks to her physiology enhanced by gamma radiation, She-Hulk is nearly immune to most diseases on Earth, and her pain tolerance and regenerative ability allow her to continue fighting even after sustaining severe injuries. Jennifer Walters also possesses enhanced senses. She has stated that her hearing is sharp enough to catch whispered conversations in the next room even when surrounded by a noisy crowd. Beyond that, training with the alien ovoid race unlocked a rare ability within She-Hulk, allowing her to temporarily exchange physical traits and strength with another being. This power makes her an unpredictable opponent, always capable of adapting to the most unexpected situations. She-Hulk was once a close combat fighter who relied far more on overwhelming strength than on technique. However, her journey of growth changed that. Under the guidance of Gamora, she learned martial arts from across the galaxy and mastered precise strikes to nerve centers that could quickly incapacitate opponents. Training under Captain America further refined her combat style, making She-Hulk faster, more agile, and highly tactical. As a result, she was able to maintain the upper hand against fearsome enemies such as Abomination, even when they possess superior raw physical strength. In a tense and traumatic incident, She-Hulk was once affected so deeply that she was nearly helpless before those who had captured her. Fear and hesitation prevented her from fighting back, until the moment she witnessed Perla in danger. That instant awakened the courage buried within her, transforming weakness into a fierce flame of retaliation. She-Hulk stood alone against an entire battalion, fighting without retreat to pull Perla free from the encirclement and bring her to safety. Not long after, She-Hulk faced an even harsher ordeal when she worked to stop a radiation leak aboard a crashed S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier. Direct exposure to that dangerous radiation seemed to change her permanently, leaving her unable to return to her original human form. However, the truth ran far deeper. In her subconscious, she no longer wished to return to being the fragile Jennifer Walters she once was. At the suggestion of Doc Samson, Reed concealed this truth, allowing She-Hulk to believe that the transformation was irreversible. She-Hulk chose to abandon a secret identity and publicly called herself Jennifer Walters. This was not merely a name, but a unification of humanity and gamma power within a single identity. She-Hulk left the Fantastic Four when Thing returned to his familiar role, closing a meaningful chapter while opening a new journey with the Avengers after the Masters of Evil launched a devastating attack on the mansion. During this period, the Avengers experienced severe internal upheaval involving Dr. Druid. The team was reduced to only She-Hulk and 2 other members, forcing them to temporarily disband amid a heavy atmosphere of uncertainty and unease. After leaving the Avengers, She-Hulk entered a phase of experimentation and freedom. She joined the short-lived Superhuman Force, worked alongside Doc Samson, and made a bold decision to leave the District Attorney office to become an independent partner with Heroes for Hire. Her time dating Luke Cage brought Jennifer rare moments of ordinary emotion, allowing her to briefly forget the pressures of being a superhero. However, when the Avengers returned from Counter-Earth, Jennifer could not remain completely detached. Alongside her involvement with the Avengers, she also aided the Defenders at the request of Hellcat, demonstrating that she was always ready to step forward when the world needed her strength and experience. In the end, she returned to work at the District Attorney office, rediscovering balance between the law and the battlefield. For She-Hulk, every decision was not merely a career choice, but a journey of self-definition between 2 worlds that seemed seemed opposed, yet always moved in parallel throughout her life. In the confrontation between Colossus and She-Hulk, the balance of power at the present time clearly tilts in favor of She-Hulk. Although Colossus possesses an organic metal body with near indestructible durability, Jennifer surpasses him in speed, agility, and adaptability in combat. She does not rely solely on raw strength, but knows how to maneuver, counterattack, and exploit an opponent's weaknesses, which often allows her to gain the upper hand in direct engagements. Modern. She-Hulk is no longer the image of a tall and powerful heroine who still retained a sense of softness from the past. She has undergone a complete transformation, becoming a massive being with surging muscles that radiate power true to the nature of Hulk blood. This change is not only logical but necessary, because gamma power was never meant for a slender appearance. Only when She-Hulk manifests in such a colossal and imposing form can one truly feel the potential she has always possessed. Many believe that Immortal Hulk is the strongest version of Hulk ever to exist, even surpassing the Green Scar. The Green Scar himself once easily shattered Colossus' wrist and forced Piotr into submission. If Immortal Hulk is even stronger than that entity, and She-Hulk has faced Immortal Hulk head-on, then this alone demonstrates the terrifying level of her power. Especially when rage rises, Jennifer gradually loses her familiar clarity and moves closer to the state of Savage Hulk. Her strength increases with emotion, becoming violent and unforgiving, even though the rate of growth is still slower and does not reach the same peak as her cousin. In this context, Colossus, despite his resilience and loyalty to a straightforward fighting style, remains at a disadvantage against a She-Hulk who is both powerful and agile, and who becomes even more dangerous when her anger is unleashed. This is not merely a contest of muscles, but a collision between living steel and an ever-evolving gamma-fueled fury. She-Hulk holds the advantage in both speed and strength, making her the victor in this matchup. I hope you enjoyed this battle. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Follow me if you like. That is today's video. Thank you very much.